Alright guys, so out here on the lake, finally ice is here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Jiffy Scout. This came out by Jiffy last year. Last year was the first year I used it. Excited to use it again this year. There was a lot of things I've been reading online, things I've been looking at, some issues, some not. One thing, everybody says it wobbles. Some do, some don't. As you can see, it's got a little slight vibration. It's always going to have a little bit, folks. It's offset on one side. It's not balanced, so it's going to wobble a little bit. Obviously, if your shaft is bent, that's another thing. This thing ideally is meant for early ice. I did use it last year out to 25, 26 inches of ice to use for my deucer when I was moving my house. I'm going to walk through a couple quick things. Number one, it will always bind. It's always going to bind at the bottom. So like I'll show you. When you get down in, right there, just before I broke through, it's going to bind. They all do it. All you got to do is stop, pull up, plunge through. And it's going to do that every time. That's normal. That's how they work. When you get 12 inches of ice, you can send this thing straight down in without an issue. One thing that Jiffy didn't say in their video and that they need to address is explaining to people how to use this thing. For starters, you start drilling into ice that's 27, 28 inches. Once you get past these flights, you're not going to lose any slush. All that slush is going to build up in the hole. And as you're drilling down, so if I was drilling through, let's say 28 inches of ice, as I'm going down, you're going to constantly want to go like this and clean your hole. So drill 6 inches, clean it. Drill 6 inches, clean it. If you don't clean that hole up, you're going to bind it up. And if you bind it up and try to force it, you're going to bend it or break it. Not really on Jiffy. The biggest thing is just it's not meant for that. This is an early ice tool. I use it in the wintertime when there's late season ice, 25 inches or so. I'll use it a lot of times just to move around to set my shack up. And I drill through 20 some inches ice all the time with it. You just got to take your time with it. Like I said, as you go through, make sure you repeatedly clean that hole once you get over 12 inches. If for some reason you do get a bunch of junk in there and you end up binding it up, make dang sure you reverse it. Don't try to pull it, reverse it. Let it chew its way back up as you go, and you should have no issues. Other than that, it's a great little tool. Some people like to use it on lower speed. I don't. You can use it on low. I'll try you one on low here. It doesn't shake as much, and you can put a little more downward pressure, but it'll bind again, like I said, just as you go through the bottom. Then you clean it out. I prefer just to hold on to her like a man and send it in full speed. Like I said, at the bottom, it'll bind, and then you clean it through. Obviously, once you clean through, hook, it shows your measurement right there. Handy little tool. Biggest thing is, like I said, you get over 12 inches of ice, make sure you're cleaning that hole and you won't have any issues. This one's 2 years old. I don't know how many holes I've drilled with it. I know they did fix a lot of things from last year. People were complaining about the graphics coming off. I did talk to Jiffy. They said they cleared them. So that should help with the graphic problem. The flights, there was a few people that were saying flights were breaking off. I know they did. If you look at an old one or you buy a new one this year, you'll see they put the welds farther out on the flights, and the flights are a lot tighter. The shaft is heavier duty. They used a thicker steel for the shaft, and the chuck last year was a little bit smaller. I think it was advertised as a 3/8. It was actually like 5/16, so a little under that. It's a full 3/8 this year, so they've made some good improvements. I'm excited to get out and break her in some more. If you have any questions, just throw them in the comments and I'll try to answer them as best I can. But that's kind of a quick tutorial on how to use this thing, and yeah, we'll see you on the ice.